Hey, good day, everybody. Thank you for watching the King Nigel Show. And today the topic is what has modernism done to your input on relationships? Like, how has times changed, right? They changed a whole lot. It's quite different from what it used to be from our grandparents growing up and stuff like that, or even our great grandparents. Like, far as the input on relationships. I mean, a lot of people were raised differently, and I understand which may give them a different perspective of life as they're growing up. But what do you do about all that input, all the information that you gather, including your experiences that you had, growing up in a household or whatever the situation or case was? How did you deal with that as an adult? Like, did you look at it as if, you were lied to, or did you accept what you were told as a child by your parents because they, had been through some things and they had their whole total input on what a man or what a woman is or what a man should be or what a woman should be. And I've known a lot of people to kind of get caught up in the whole fairy tale thing, mainly women, that you deserve the world. A man's supposed to provide and do this and do that and all this good stuff. He's supposed to be the leader. But are you being taught to be that type of wife to a husband? And that's the thing. The reason why I had to do this today is because I ran across someone that had an issue with some of my posts on Facebook. And as many people know, I'm very red pill. I'm very realistic. Everyone knows my situation, what I have got, going on for me. So it's imperative that I be aware of the things that's going on in society as far as dating or vetting a woman for marriage. Um, their approach is very selfish. It's like, what are you bringing to the table, like off the bat? It jumps into finances, materialism. You know, how can you benefit me if I decide basically to give you a chance? And it kind of struck me, kind of like in a not so good way. So my response basically was that, you know, if you have any children, what have you done with yourself? Stuff like that since you asked me these type of questions. She had 3 children, whatever the case was. So I kind of sat there for a second. I thought, how can I say this in the most nice way? How can I say this in the nicest way possible? So I basically told her, but listen, by you having 3 kids or whatever, that's not a benefit to me. In fact, it's a liability. So I'm not going to even finish having this conversation. When the tables turn like that, now it's like I was being rude because I hit her with a dose of reality. Number one, the whole modern concept, the whole attitude, is different, is more or less being independent from everything, including a man. And a lot of time go by. It flies by. And you have people out here dating, sleeping around, having children, not even getting married, and stuff like that. They do all of that type of stuff throughout their 20s. By the time they're 35, hitting 40, that's when they decide to settle down. But you have to think about it. Why would a person decide all of a sudden have you as their wife? How would you be beneficial to your husband? I mean, what happened in your life whereas you're not married but you still have children, stuff like that. These days it's kind of the norm, they say, but some things you just have to think twice about because it all has its consequences and repercussions. A lot of people don't think about that. It kind of strains the whole concept of what a relationship should be or what a marriage should be, what consists of a marriage. What role do you play as a husband? What role do you play as a wife? Are you friendly, submissive, willing, cooperative, beautiful, fit? All that good stuff. In return, that's what this is. A husband, he will actually reward his wife for those type of things. He will continue to provide for her, won't even have an issue doing so. But the women In today's time, the attitudes are just so strenuous to the point, whereas you don't even want to even think about it, because of the concept of me, me, me. I don't need a man for this. I don't need a man for that. I had a woman tell me one time, I'm not looking for a relationship or whatever the case is. I don't really care about a man, but you know, somewhere down the line, I do want to have a child. I hear stuff like that instead of me being told, I like to be a wife, I like to have a family, stuff like that. It's very rare these days now. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like it's too time consuming to even want to sit back and try to fathom another person's mindset of how did you end up this way? And it's quite simple. Ask the parents questions. How do you feel about a man? Ask her mother these things, her grandmother even. And that would be your answer right there. A lot of men these days that are, walking around here, when they was boys, raised by their mothers and stuff like that because their father wasn't around. They was raised as simps and beta males, whereas they were taught to satisfy a woman, to do this and that for a woman, whatever the case may be. And that's what they do. They go out here, they become this man just for this woman. And I just sit back and I just be appalled about it because it's a total different mindset to where a man can be very, very financially successful, but his wife is still the head of the household for some reason. He doesn't have that male leadership role. And that happens a whole lot. I'm just, just saying a little something here because I don't want to take up too much time at all. I've been doing a lot of things. I've been tied up with a lot of stuff. So, as you may tell, I'm kind of tired, but I figure there's still something out there for everybody to listen to. Modernism has taken over tradition. It's quite frustrating. But thanks for watching, everybody.